And welcome back to Sunset Chevrolet Stadium. Paul Beatty along with Joe Withy and Tony Davila. 31-24 our final score as West Linn gets the job done. The postgame show is the Alderson's Awards West postgame show. For trophies, awards, t-shirts, and so much more, go to aldersons.net for their full catalog. Again, 31-24. And Joe, what a second half this was. It really became a lot more defensive.
It did. Started off with several punts in the third quarter, adjustments made at halftime as we watched West Linn savor this victory. Again, they beat the defending Washington State champions on their home field. And the long trip from south of Portland, a fruitful one for West Linn. And a comeback win is just a little bit sweeter as well, as they trailed by 11 points twice in the first half and won the second half 14-3. Again, they kept the Sumner attack out of the end zone despite a tremendous game by McGee for Sumner, the running back. Tony will have those numbers, but he was absolutely awesome with his offensive line. But it wasn't enough because West Linn mixed in enough running with a good passing attack and making stops and a big interception as well.
Joe, I always say this. In a closer game, like 21-17, 14-10, coming out of halftime, I always feel the team behind has a little bit of an advantage going into that second half because you're leading, you're winning. Yeah, you can make an adjustment here or there, but most of the adjustments are from the team that is losing at that time. You kind of have to wait to see what they're going to do, and you can kind of guess. And they came out and they go, we got to slow down McGee, and they, even though he cranked up all that yardage, they did not let him get loose for the big one, and never got to, a big 50 or 60-yard touchdown. They did enough to slow him down, and they kind of said, well, if you're going to beat us, he's going to beat us. But after that touchdown pass to Braylon Pope in the first half, the second half, passing-wise, they pretty much took Sumner completely out of their passing game.
They did, indeed. And as you mentioned on that last drive, a couple interceptions thrown by Donovan. He might have been just a little bit reluctant to pull the trigger unless it was just set up perfectly. Yeah. But, I see what you're saying about the team just slightly behind. The team ahead is protecting as much as attacking, while the team behind has to attack. And West Linn had some great defensive adjustments, just enough defensive plays to slow down McGee and the drive for Sumner.
And it was clear that they needed to get some rushing yardage to help ease that burden of Sloan Baker and the passing attack. As good as it was, it sure helps when you got a Peters or a Bissell that can break one off every now and then. And speaking of that, why don't we get to these numbers and then we can discuss more after Tony's got them all tallied up here.
All right, let's start with the home team, the Sumner Spartans. Donovan goes 5 of 15 passes for 16 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. He completed 1 pass in the second half for 0 yards. There on the ground, though, McGee had a night. 35 carries, 273 yards on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. Neighbors had 6 carries for 38. Cypher, 1 carry for 2, and Donovan had 3 carries for 2 yards. 315 yards on the ground, 60 through the air for 375 yards of offense for Sumner.
Before we get to West Linn, Joe, with Neighbors, I just think you have to do a little bit something different. They're running the same plays, and he's not built like Lance McGee. And, yes, he's a hard runner, but he's got so much speed. Somehow get him to the edge and try to at least loosen that up. That'll further loosen the middle up there. So they've got some tools here, but I'm not sure, why Neighbors isn't getting the ball a little bit more and maybe attacking the edges. Tony, you had something?
He had 1 carry in the second half.
Yeah, that was late in the game. I was flashed on that myself early in the fourth quarter. We didn't have any kind of misdirection or trick plays out
Right.
there at all from either team. Usually you're going to see a little bit of something like that. But McGee's straight ahead running. But, yeah, Neighbors could have opened things up a little bit, and they didn't utilize him that way today.
I sure like to see him just try to get him into space a little bit where he can use that speed and try to break something open. All right, let's flip the switch here, Tony. What do you got for West Linn?
All right, so the receivers, Pope had 1 catch for 19 touchdown. Martinimov had 3 catches for 40, and then Cypher had the 1 for 1. Those are the receiving yards for Sumner. On the other side, Baker ends up 16 of 29 passing, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception in this one. Bissell had 2 catches for 56 yards. Donnerberg, 2 catches for 33. Ritchie, 3 catches for 53. Kinnebrew, 3 catches for 30. Tott had 3 catches for 38 and a touchdown. Molden had 2 catches for 35 and a touchdown. He also had that interception on defense. And then Marcus had the last catch of the game. It was a catch for no yards. There's your 245 yards. Molden had an interception. Dixon had an interception for the Lions of West Linn. Ferguson had an interception for Sumner. Running the ball, it was Baker, 8 carries, 22 yards. Bissell had 12 carries for 68. And then Peters had 7 carries for 15 yards and 2 touchdowns. 105 yards on the ground, 245 through the air for 350 yards of offense. So only 20 yards of offense separated these two teams in what they did. Both kickers hit a field goal. Xander Morris hit a 38-yarder in the first half, and then Juan Jacobo Guzman hit a 40-yarder for the only point scored by Sumner in the second half.
Which tied the game at that time. But, again, that hidden yardage of that 58-yard kickoff return by Peters is a big bunch of yardage. And Bissell's 2 little wheel routes out of the backfield, that one big reception in the first, and they came back and got that big first down. It was second or third and long, and he came out again and picked up a big first down of that. So a couple of little hidden things there that maybe not jump out that were big plays.
And, of course, Molden's interception late in the first half, they got the ball after his return, his big return. They had just 32 seconds left, but they scored on that drive, and that pulled them to within 21-17 at halftime. So a big turnaround there with the interception and the return. Molden had a really good game for West Linn, as did Shane Peters, Cole Dixon.
Before we get into that, let's do this. Time now for the Holiday Inn Express MVP of the Game Award, brought to you by your on-the-road team headquarters, the Sumner Holiday Inn. Stay where the winners stay, the Sumner Holiday Inn Express. And our MVP award always goes to the winning side. And, Joe, you started to list off a few of them there. And you got a few more you want to talk about?
Well, Cole Dixon really impressed me on both sides of the ball. He really had some good plays on defense. He was all over the field. And so did Peters. And Peters, of course, kickoff return set up the winning drive for West Linn. He got into the backfield a little bit. It was real tough stopping McGee, but those guys combined to get their hands on him and slow him down enough to where Sumner only scored 3 points in the second half. So quarterback was outstanding as well, usually is in a victory. Okay.
Yeah, okay. You got that.
I liked Molden a lot. The interception on defense, as you said, led to points. He had the touchdown in the second half, 2 receptions for 35 yards. We kept on saying.
And a touchdown, right?
Yeah, and a touchdown receiving. We kept on saying, where's Braylon Pope? Where's Braylon Pope? He's being covered by Molden. Molden had him out on an island and really took him out of the game and didn't allow him to break free. He had that 1 catch in the first half for a touchdown, but other than that, Molden did a great job covering him one-on-one on the outside.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll throw out one other name that I thought had a really good game tonight, and that's their tight end. Gavin Tott came through with a couple of big, and in there blocking as well, doing jobs on both sides. So I think we're probably in agreement. I agree with you. Molden
Yep.
is going to be our MVP of this game. Now, had Sumner taken care of business here, I think we know who the MVP of the game was. You guys, I know, would have gone for McGee, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I would have gone.
Well-
I would have gone with the offensive line.
Well, their
so.
offensive line was well. That's where you played.
Yes, exactly.
But
It's
they
biased.
were tremendous. But how many tackles did McGee break?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
how many guys did he run in between two players that just bounced off him?
Yeah.
He is he's a real talent.
Yeah, no question about it. All right, that is going to do it for us. Oh, it's not. Let me do this real quick because there are some interesting scores from our other locations here. Again, our final after 3 quarters, so I don't know where this, but right now Tumwater leading 4A Eastlake 42-21 after 3. Lakes defeats Curtis 21-17. The Lancers could be back over there in, what is that, the South Puget Sound Conference, I think it is, that they're in? Or
Are they in the
the
PSL?
The Pierce County
Yeah,
League.
they are. They're in the
PCL.
Narrows.
PCL, I think
Yes.
it is. North Creek early on leads Bethel 13-8 after the first quarter, and against Spanaway Lake, for me, is a stunning win, 24-10 over Federal Way earlier in the night. 21-12 after 3 quarters, La Center over Napavine. Those were the games that we had other crews at tonight. So a lot of good football happening on. We don't have anything tomorrow, do we?
I was checking that now. No, we do not. There is
Kind of a slow Saturday for us tomorrow.
no games on. We're back at it on Tuesday next week.
Next Tuesday, for sure. All right, for Joe Withy, Tony Davila, again, our final score, 31-24. West Linn takes care of business. We'll talk to you next time here on the Eli and the NFHS Sports Networks.